Hey guys, welcome back. It is your favorite Gimp with a Limp, and I'm here with a special treat for you all. This is the Resident Evil 3, the board game, recently released on Kickstarter, actually shipped out to Kickstarter backers. This one, it's got a decent amount of coverage. Sequel to the Resident Evil 2, and evidently they're going to be doing Resident Evil 1. So they went 2, 3, and now they're going back to 1. It was a little advertisement they had left in the game box for you to open. I was kind of sketchy with 2. It was an okay game. I didn't cover that one. That one did get plenty of coverage. It had its ups and downs as far as the Kickstarter was concerned, but it was all right. You know, it was a relatively decent game. But you got a few bonuses if you backed Resident Evil 2, and then you backed the third one of which was better tiles, right? For Resident Evil 2, you got the free upgraded tile pack. And this one wasn't too much, so I was like, okay, I'll go ahead and jump on it. I love Resident Evil. I've loved it since I was a kid. You know, the video game, played through it plenty of times, all the video games. 2 and 3 are my favorites. The second remake, the video game, love it. Playing it again. The third remake, I refuse to get it because that is such an atrocity of what they did to it. I cannot believe how... I mean, it's almost like a FMV instead of a video game, and they only put half the story in it, and it had no mercenaries mode, no Operation Mad Jackal, which is actually what I have set up for you guys here, because this one does come with it, the mercenaries mode. Now, here's where I'm going to ding it and not ding it at the same time, right? So I've got everything set up over here, ready to go, and I've left all the space because we're going to be forming the map as we go on here. But the deal is this Kickstarter had a little stretch goal bonus that came with it. And this one is the part that has Operation Mad Jackal in it. And it almost feels like they took the complete game, sliced off a part of it, and said, this is a stretch goal. That way they could sell it as a separate expansion, because this has Operation Mad Jackal. This was part of Resident Evil 3 Nemesis when the game released back in the day. All the enemies that are in here, the few extra scenarios that are in this. This is all part of what was the original game. This should have been in the base box. All right, if you want to have other stuff as expansions, fine, I get it. You're trying to make as much money as you can. All the Kickstarter backers got this, all right? But if it's going to retail, and I believe it's going to retail because I think the second one went to retail, they'll have to pay extra for this. And you really want to have Operation Mad Jackal. That was one of the best parts about it. I can't tell you how many times I played that part. And for those of you who don't know, from the Resident Evil 3 Nemesis video game, after you beat the game, you could play through it again doing the mercenaries mode, you know, Mad Jackal. And the premise was you had a bomb implanted in whatever character you had unlocked and were playing with, and you had something like 5 minutes, I think, starting out with, to make it to the end. All right, so you started at one part of the game and you had to run all the way back, I think, to where Jill originally starts in the game to survive, but you don't have enough time to get there. But you get more time for killing enemies and doing certain things, saving survivors, and they've recreated that into the board game. So there is a complete campaign. There's the whole thing. You can play through the Resident Evil 3, the board game campaign, just like you would in the video game. But I wanted to show Operation Mad Jackal because that you get to see the majority of how the game's going to play, but you get to see this little bonus mode. We would sit there and play this on the video game. One of us, my brother and I, and a couple of buddies, we'd play, and we would take turns. One guy would play until he got killed and then hand the controller off, and we just keep going for hours playing that because it was so much fun trying to make it through. And I watched some videos of some people who are still playing that game, like the old Nemesis game, going through the mercenaries mode, and they got it down to a T. I mean, like a science. This guy was so damn fast with reloading his weapons, and I think he was playing as Mikhail, and he just made it look like a joke as he went through and got S rank, and by the time he finished, he had something like 20 minutes left on the clock because he had just done it so perfectly, rescued every single survivor out there. But they have all that on here. You guys are going to see as we go through this deck. So this deck is effectively the end, all right? So you have to get through this deck, and so I'll cover it. You see the very last card is Operation Success. So you have to get all the way through, and you get to start with a fair amount of stuff. You got a shotgun, you got your handgun, some ammo, and I think one healing item is what you start with, but all your characters start with the same stuff in here and listed down. Unfortunately, they didn't do it different per characters, but I did actually. I've got Jill set out here in case I want to flip back and forth playing between the two, because I'm probably going to do that off camera later. He actually gets to use the sidearm, the handgun, Samurai's Edge, which is much better than the regular handgun. So I'm going with Barry as my first playthrough for on camera. So you guys will see how he does much better weapon. I'm also going to play this with kind of the easy mode thing, where when you use an ammo item, it restores your ammo to full for whatever weapon you're using it. And the first aid spray does the same thing, kind of going with the video game version of it. First aid spray always heals you up to find perfect health, which is kept track of here. As you take damage, you tick this on down. And then if you get poisoned, you can flip it over to the poison side and take damage. So really love that they included this in it. It has extra characters that you can play as. There's so many different versions. Now you guys will notice these cards do look different, and that's because the one expansion that I did pay for with the 3 board game was the retro pack, just because I love the old style look so much, you know, from the original video games. Just love that. Brings back memories from my childhood. So I am using those cards, but these cards do exist in the board game version themselves too. All right, so we got our tiles set up over here. I've got tokens to set out. I will grab my one last door token over here, ready to go. And we've got our tension deck. That's essentially our timer. We need to keep going. If the tension deck runs out, we lose. We're done. There are spare tension cards that you can get more of into your deck if you kill enemies. There is a predetermined A and B item decks. A items will be spread throughout the map. B items, generally, you're going to get those for killing higher level enemies or rescuing survivors. And then I've got a little handful of enemy zombies and enemies all set over there, including where is Mr. Nemesis, because he can appear as well. Not his boss form, but his regular character form can appear in the Operation Mad Jackal, just like it did in the video game. All right, so I was glancing over it, just make sure I am good to go. Now, for this game, the way it works is you have your action phase, reaction phase, and then your tension phase. Action phase, you do 4 things. 4 things is move a square, or take a shot, or search, or open a door, pick up an item, anything like that. All right, so you get to do 4 things. So if you move 4 squares, that's it. That's your turn. You get to do 4. Then the enemies will react to you, and they're going to react based on if they are on your tile or a linked tile. Linked tile means one that is connected to where you are or through an open doorway. So if this door is open and there's enemies on this tile, they will react as well and start coming in. So a good thing to do is to close your doors so the enemies don't react and they don't keep coming after you at that point, all right? So we're ready to go. We're ready to start out here. And I was thinking about it. I kind of want to see what that item is, but I kind of don't think I need to see what that item is because my guy already has a full inventory to start off with. So instead, I might just try to kill this zombie. So we're going to take one action to here, and these little minis, just to let you see it. I haven't bothered to paint them because I've got other things that are being painted right now. It'll take forever to get to these. I'll paint them up later. But they are a little bit smaller. I think they're like 28 millimeter scale. So a touch smaller than like Warhammer versions. All right, so that's one action. Second action is going to be take a shot. Looking at our weapon Samurai's Edge, it is line of sight. So as long as I have line of sight, I'm good. And the big reason I wanted to use this weapon is because it uses the red die instead of the blue die. All right, blue die bad. Well, not horribly bad, but not as good. And just so you guys can see, your blue die is also your evasion die. So those are like dodges, those curly symbols. There's 3. There's the weakest one, second weakest one, best one. That one usually will always get you a dodge situation, depending. Those generally give you like pushes when you're shooting at the enemy, and then that means you hit them. But effectively with this die, you only hit on a 6, all right? Because there's only 1. You've got 2 pushes, 3 dodges, and 1 bullet. With the red die, you have 2 bullets, 2 pushes, 1 blank, and then 1 like bullseye, like critical hit. So with that Samurai's Edge, you effectively triple your chance of causing damage to the enemy versus the regular pistol, because you have 2 chances to push and then 2 chances to damage. This will cause 1 damage, and then 1 chance for a critical hit of 2 damage. That is a seriously powerful weapon to start off with. So definitely glad to have the red die. I am going to have my second action be shooting that little zombie over here. Move our dice out of the way. Hopefully we will get a hit. And yes, bam, perfect. We got our shot, which means I have to take my ammo counter down to 14 because he's down 1 round now. And in Operation Mad Jackal, you take these and you place them on your character board right here. And then at the end of the action phase, based on how many enemies you killed and their threat level, which their threat level is shown right here. Zombies are obviously a 1 because they're rather weak. You get extra attention cards added into your deck. So that's effectively you killing them and getting more time. Now the top 15 cards here are all greens, which means they're rather weak. Nothing's going to happen. The ones that I'm going to add into it, though, are stronger. There's the ambers and reds and, serious ones in there that'll add in stronger enemies. So that is him taken out. I've got 2 actions left. Let's hope for the best. I could try to run from that zombie, but we'll take a shot at him. So we'll do 3. So first move, shot, 3, move to there. 4, shooting over there. We'll go ahead and tick down the handgun because that is something that is easy to forget, moving down your ammo. But I've got a good amount to start off with. See if I can get a little bit of extra time here. So drop it in. And yes, we got him too. Perfect. That is 2 damage. So that is the end of my action phase. But we've got 2 on here. All right. So effectively what happens here is you're supposed to place a card when you kill an enemy with it. So I'm actually going to probably do this somewhere else. When the first one went down, it would have been 1 tension card there, okay, with him. It's his threat level. But it ends up going up as you kill more enemies in a single action round. So this guy's actually going to get 2 action cards, because there were 2 models here. So it's based on the amount of models and their threat level. So place 1 card per threat level times the amount of models that are there. So it's threat levels 1 times 2 models. So this guy, 1 model with a threat level 1. So 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 2, 2. So we ended up getting 3 cards from killing those 2. And to save myself a little bit of time, I'm just going to throw these on the bottom of the deck. They're supposed to get shuffled in, but I will have to stop every action round to shuffle. So we're just going to jam these right here and keep going. And the first one's going to be green. We already know that from starting out. So nothing's going to happen, and just let you guys see it. They also have old-fashioned tension deck cards. Really neat. And the color at the bottom will come into play during some of the enemy's attacks. So we did our tension phase, the reaction phase, nothing left to worry about because the enemy's already done. We already did our tension phase. So I can go right back into my next action phase. And I kind of am curious about what this card is, but I think I want to try to save time, and I'm not going to be able to get anything really good going. I don't know. Should I? Yeah, screw it. Let's see what it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Unfortunately, that, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I can't get to it. You can move diagonally, but not when it dips across like that wall right there. Just a little bit over to let you know that you can't make that diagonal move. You do have to orthogonally. So we're going to have to burn another tension card, which we will do. And now my first action is going to be to search this token. So we'll place the token down. Remember, we have our deck here. We'll draw a top card, see what it is. It's a green herb. I'm just going to leave the green herb down for now because nothing I can do with it. So that was first action, second, third, fourth. Perfect. And yeah, I'll just leave that right there. I'm going to have to burn another tension deck card. So now you see I already burned out what I just gained here. All right, so now we're going to flick this door to open, and now you get to see how Operation Mad Jackal works. Bam, this is our first tile. So let me grab my tile from my stack here. Which one is it? I think it's this one. Let's see. Yes, because if I turn this way, that lines up. You see there is a wall right there, right angled. We got a wall. And where it's shown with an S is how you line it up, all right? So its orientation doesn't matter. The S just signifies that starting position, so effectively where your door is going to line up for us. So we see we have 3 zombies already in this room, and there's 2 doors heading out of it. We'll leave that door there. And that was my first action. Let me grab some zombies. We'll put a zombie here, zombie here, zombie here. And I need 2 more door tokens. Place a door token here, place a door token here. And, or no, those are archways, excuse me. All right, we're just gonna use the door tokens and just flick them to open and leave them open because I couldn't find anything that looked like an archway. But that'll take care of it, and we need 1 more A item here, and there's not a whole lot of A items in the deck. I think it's a few more ammo and maybe a weapon in the A deck. The B deck has really got the stuff that you want. All right, so that takes care of it. Now, this is bad though. I'm going to have to kill these zombies since these are archways instead of doorways. I don't think I can close them, which means these guys are going to be considered a linked tile. I'm going to have to deal with these zombies. Okay, good stuff. And we will set this here in our discard pile. So you see, that's 1 card. I'm not sure how many are in here, maybe like 20 or so. So there's a lot of cards that you have to get through. And you start with a fair amount of ammo, a couple of boxes of handgun ammo, a box of shotgun ammo, a shotgun. You got a fair amount of stuff, but there's a lot that you have to get through. Just like the video game, there's a mess load of enemies between you and the end. So you just got to push on, hope for the best. And it is solitaire, Operation Mad Jackal. It is 100% designed to be played solitaire, but honestly, I really don't see a reason why you couldn't play it with a friend, with a couple of characters if you wanted to, adjust the difficulty, add an extra enemy, something. I don't know. Yeah, just play it. It's your game. You enjoy it, you know? All right, so my first action was opening the door. Second action, definitely going to be taking a shot. So we're going to take this down to 12 and roll that beautiful red die. We'll kick this over for now while we still don't have something there. And yes, perfect. He goes there. So that's 1 card. All right, so that was first action, second action, third action, and then last shot with fourth action. Come on, get him. Oh, that was a hit too. Oh, God, I could use that hit. Come on. Daddy needs a new pair of dead zombies. No, blank. Oh, what a whiff. That is horrible. Okay, so we will take down that last shot that I took. We're down to 11 rounds in the mag. And one dead zombie. So we'll place him back over there. Another single card, which I will throw into the deck here. So now we're back to the reaction phase. Zombie's going to come up. This zombie's going to come up. Good thing he can't cross that corner any more than I can. And now we're back to my phase. I'm going to have to go after these guys. I gotta kill them. I should have caught this earlier, but it's the mistake that I made when I was playing off camera, and I kept trying to remember. But it's a hard one to remember, just for me. Hopefully you guys will learn from my mistake. The enemies on your tile do react to attacks, so they will move each time you attack. Sorry, that is my mistake. I apologize for doing that. Sometimes there's just a game where you have a hard time remembering that one specific rule, and for me, it is that because it's so regimented for me. You know, the enemies move during their reaction phase. But yes, there is a reaction that they perform out of sequence of their normal reaction phase each time you perform an attack. All right, so the basic gist is that enemies that are on your tile or a linked tile that were not hit in the attack, so let's say I shoot this one and he's pushed backwards, then this one's going to react to that. They're reacting to the noise, the shots. Even if you use a knife, it still counts. They're still going to move because the zombie groans and all that good crap. So unavoidable. They should have been moving up, but that's neither here nor there. But we got it. We will make sure that we keep track of that because these guys would have been a little bit closer to me down over here. Now, let's... All right, I took one shot and I missed. Let's take another shot. I think this will be my last action. I got myself distracted because I realized I forgot that rule. But that is all right. Let's take one more shot at this one close to me. Hopefully we can get him wiped out. Come on. Kill him. No, pushed. Not good. Push him back to there. But that is going to cause this one to react. All right. And that was my last action. So let's take this down. And now we're in the official reaction phase, which means everyone on my tile, linked tiles, moves. This one's going to move to here. And this one's going to move to here, which means they actually get to attack me on this round. All right. So looking at his card, he has a reaction level of 2. Which means I get to roll 2 dice when I'm performing a dodge to his attack. Now, his attack is relatively simple. It is a swipe. You know, they're attacking with zombie bites and crap at range 0, so they have to be in your square, and it causes a single point of damage. Now, the good thing is if he does hit me, I do get to push him back, just like they had in the video game, where the zombie would get on you and you'd wrestle around for a second, then you'd shove them back. Same principle here. So I roll 2 dice, and I'm looking for any dodge symbol here means the attack failed. So give me a fail. No, I didn't mean give me a fail. I meant give me a pass. Oh, I said it wrong. Oh, okay. So not good. Zombies already hit me, and that will tick down by 1, but since I did fail, he does get pushed back by 1, and we will tick over the tension deck 1 more again. And you guys see how quickly this tension deck's burning through. That's why I wasn't wholly worried about shuffling it, because I knew I was going to burn through it real quick. All right, I've got 4 more actions, and unfortunately here, these 2 zombies are rather close to me. And I'm thinking about maybe backing up a little bit, because if I don't, let's say I take a shot, if I miss, then both of them will jump in on me, and that will be very much bad. And if I can get them lined up into the same square, then I might possibly be able to cause some severe damage with a shotgun blast. So what we're going to do is back up. So yeah, that's going to be our first action and second action. Give myself a little bit of room. 2 actions left. I will take my first shot, knock that down to 10, and roll the die. Roll the die. Come on. Kill the zombie. Kill the zombie. No, I got a push. That is unfortunate. Okay, so he goes there, but it is a linked tile, which means he comes back up to here. All right, I'm looking at it, and if these two were on the same square, I would shoot with the shotgun, because the shotgun, if you get lucky and get the shot, because the shotgun's much more likely to cause damage and you roll in 2 die, you can cause a burst effect, but it only affects a single square. So if both of these zombies were on the same square, I would cause a significant amount of damage to both of them. I'd kill them both with 1 blast, potentially, if I roll the right way. But that probably ain't going to happen. So we'll take our second action, or last action rather, shooting at this closest zombie. And that's going to bump us down to 9 rounds left. I really need this one killed before they pop me down because I'm running out of time. Yes. Okay, perfect. That is good. He's dead. So we're going to go ahead and pull him off and grab a tension deck card to throw in, because there are no more. Just the one, just means 1 card added into the deck, and he's going to react. He's reacting to the shot. Now we're reacting to his reaction phase, which means he's going to move up. That's going to finish that, and we will draw 1 more card for our tension deck. Should still be in the green, but we're maybe halfway through with our greens. So we're getting ready to start hitting bad juju stuff now. All right, we will pause here, and then I will pick it back up, and we'll play through the rest of it until I die, or I doubt I'm going to make it to the end. But we'll see how it plays out. If you guys have any questions or notice anything I missed, by all means, feel free to put it down in the comments. We'll pick up in part 2, like I said, with the rest of Operation Mad Jackal, and give you guys some final thoughts about the game. All right, you guys take care. I'll see you in the next one.